Hi, first graders. It's Mrs. Kit back again from Citizenship Academy in Syracuse, and today I am here to teach First Grade Skills Unit 3, Lesson 6. Let's go over our objectives for today. We are going to ask and answer questions orally and in writing about the story, The Hares and the Frogs. We are going to use narrative language to describe characters, events, and facts from The Hares and the Frogs. We are going to talk about the illustrations and details from the story to describe its characters, setting, and events. And we are going to read and understand decodable text in the story. Right, so your spelling words this week are going to be frog, moth, quote, wood, took, spoon, tooth, and the tricky word, why. I would like you to practice rainbow writing each word 3 times. If you have never done rainbow writing before, it's when you take a whole bunch of colored pencils or markers or crayons and you write each letter of each word a different color so it looks like a rainbow. That is great practice. That'll help you remember how to spell your spelling words. All right, so very quickly, let's go over the tricky words we have learned so far this year in first grade. Some of these we learned in kindergarten. Number 1, we have a. Number 2, I. 3, no. 4, so. 5, of. All. Some. From. Word. Are. Were. Have. One. Once. To. Do. To. Who. The. Said. Says. Was. When. Where. Why. What. Which. Here. There. He and she. We. Be. Me. They. Their. My. By. You. Your. And because. That is 40 tricky words you guys have learned so far. Holy cow. All right, next I am going to read another tale from our Fables reader, The Hares and the Frogs. While I am reading the story, I would like you to listen carefully for the who, where, and what. So I want to know who is in the story, where the story is taking place, the setting, and I want to know what order the events in the story happen so we can sequence it after we hear the story. Okay, here we go. The Hares and the Frogs. 3 hares stood in the grass. Hares is another word for rabbit. I am sad, one of them said. I wish we were brave. So do I, said the next one, but we are not brave. A splash in the brook scares us. The wind in the grass scares us. We are scared all the time. Yes, said the last one. It is sad to be a hare. There they are. Those are the hares or rabbits. Just then there was a splash in the brook. The splash scared the hares. They ran off to hide. As they ran, they scared a bunch of frogs. Look, said one of the hares, the frogs are scared of us. Yes, they are, said the next hare. They are scared of us. Well, I'm glad I'm not a frog. Yes, said the last hare. In the end, it's good to be a hare. Look, there's all the frogs hopping away. And now the hares feel brave, don't they? Because they scared the frogs. We just heard the story, The Hares and the Frogs, and we were listening for the who, the what, and the where. So who was the who in the story? The hares and the frogs. Who are the main characters? The hares and the frogs, right? They were the only characters in the story. What about the where? Where did this story take place? They were right by a pond, right? Remember the frogs hopped back in the pond when they were scared, and the hares were hiding in the grass in the beginning. What about the what? What words would you use to describe the hares? What word could we use to describe them? In the beginning of the story, they're sad, right? And they're scared. So, two words we could use to describe the hares are sad and scared. What types of things scare the hares? They're not scaredy cats, they're scaredy hares. So, the type of things that scare them is a splash in the brook and the wind in the grass scares them. What happens when the hares run off to hide? What happens when they run off to hide because they hear a splash in the brook and the wind in the grass? They scare a bunch of frogs, right? What does the last hare say after scaring the frogs? He says, in the end, it's good to be a hare or a rabbit. Last one. What do you think the moral or lesson of this fable is? What did this fable teach us? There's more than one thing you could say here. How about love who you are? There's always somebody else that's having a harder time than you are. In the beginning of the story, the hares thought they were so scared and sad. And then while they were running away because they were so scared, they ended up scaring the poor frogs, right? So things could be worse. Be happy with what you have, right? All right, guys, great job today. I will see you next time for Unit 3, Lesson 7. I can't wait. Have a great day. Bye-bye.